This is Alex from Diego Dead, and I'm going to walk through my guitar and rig. I've got a pretty cool little workshop here. One of the things I do is make weather vanes, and I'm a deadhead, so. But here in my workshop where I do stuff, I'm in a little bit of clutter, but I'll start with my pedal board. Inside the pedal board there's a lot going on. I've got a power supply, different stuff powered up, and I've built this board very specifically to try to recreate the 1970s Jerry sound. And you know, I guess I'm gonna back up and I'm gonna start with my guitar. So this is the High Water Miracle guitar, and this guitar is wired. It's a handmade guitar. It's wired and built exactly like Jerry Garcia's guitar. It's got a I won't get into detail about the pickups because I don't really know enough about it, but the brass nut and the onboard effects loop with the oboe. It's what they call a hippie sandwich, where there's 7 pieces of wood that are put together. And this is kind of improved in that I don't need to use a battery pack anymore. Magnets. Before, you know, there was a risk of the batteries going dead in the middle of a gig, and so Mark, the builder of this guitar, turned me on to this thing. What this is, it's similar to the hubbub, which everybody with an oboe needs, but it's better in that it supplies power to the guitar. So you're running 2 TRS cables from the hub, and it has a built-in blaster. This is similar to what David Gilmour used, and this is a momentary volume, so if you hold this down it'll give you a boost. So I run into my tuner, into a Hydra reverb that's basically always on. This also is a tremolo pedal. Don't really use it much. This is a boutique Direwolf distortion pedal. You know how it's deadheads, you slap something on it related to the Grateful Dead and we're going to buy it, but this actually sounds really good. This is something Jerry used, the Boss Octave pedal. This is another boutique pedal. This is made by Twilight Zone Electronics. This is how Jerry got his auto wah sound. And then I run over to an envelope filter, which goes out to a couple more pedals that are on my mic stand here. And I'll show you why I use those and why I have these on the mic stand in a minute. But then it goes back into the effects loop of the hub, and then I go into this delay pedal, which takes a single signal in and it splits it into 2, so that I have one signal going to a Seymour Duncan PokerStage. This is a 70 watt digital amp, or electronic amps, and then the other half of the signal goes into this Hugest and Vetner Stompman. That's like a 50 watt power amp. So I've got 2 digital power amps. The 70 watt Seymour Duncan powers my custom made hard trucker style 212s. These are the same type of speakers that were in the Wall of Sound. The JBL K120s. And I built this one. Levin, our sound guy, has improved, and he's building me one to match, but his is obviously vastly superior. And it's got a cool little psychedelic grill cover, which happens to light up beautifully with black light. And so this guitar is essentially wired like the same as Jerry's guitar. And what that means is it has an onboard boost. If I push down the volume button, it gives me a boost. A little bit of dirt. And it's got an onboard effects loop. So what Jerry would do is he would select his effects. Say you'd have distortion. And he had a switch on his guitar. So he'd be able to do cool. So with the onboard Jerry Blaster, which is the volume boost, so I've got my volume pedal or volume knob, and if I press it down, that's what they call the Jerry Blaster. He had a built-in boost, and then the effects loop, and then there's also a bright switch, and then a tone selector, 5-way, same as a Stratocaster. Now on this hub it has a second blaster. This is not quite the same level of dirt, so this is similar to, this is what a different circuit that Jerry used, and also David Gilmour liked this one. And then if I hold this down, so if I gotta play like Tennessee Jed, I can hold that down and get a momentary boost. You know, most of the time this stays on in a relatively almost non-existent. Can't really notice it, you know. And then over here, the reason I keep these up here is because I can get some cool psychedelic sounds. Even like a synthesizer type effect. Heads love those spacey psychedelic sounds. This is a flanger that allows also for some Now something like that, obviously, is really only going to be useful in something like space. But when you turn it basically way down, turn into, this is basically a reverb pedal, and I keep the volume. So I keep these on most of the time, and then I will bring them in and out with the mix. And if the mix is all the way down, It's like they're not on. So same thing, you know, I can leave all these on. So this pedal here, this is what they call a phaser, a phase filter, and this is a 2-channel phaser. So something like this you'd use to get like Waiting on a Miracle. I got this way so I can play, but like. And the auto wah will give you that, you know, estimated profit thing. And the other thing people don't realize about the oboe, when it's engaged, basically you're able to turn the volume down to almost nothing and still have the full effect of whatever pedal you're using. Because most of the time in guitar world, when you turn down the volume of your guitar, it rolls back the amount of effect that you're getting out of the pedal. But with the oboe, whether your volume's full, half, or the amount of effects you get out of your pedal is always the same. Now typically Jerry would keep his volume on the guitar at about half, allowing him to boost, but then he also had an onboard boost, and all these things together will get you something that approximates a 1977 Jerry Garcia sound, which is kind of the vibe I personally am going for. But back to, you know, but the guitar, can't say enough about, you know, this high water guitar. I took a chance. I bought it without trying it out, and that's a big risk for kind of a high-end guitar. But what I was judging it on was the number of Grateful Dead cover bands that seemed to be kind of happening that had dudes playing this guitar. I said, well, that works for me. So underneath this thing is the electronics package, and this can actually be lit up, and it's got a matching blue thing under here. I added the Steely. All my guitars have names. This is Stella. You can imagine why. So that's my rig rundown. We're hoping to get the other guys posting up theirs, and I appreciate everybody watching. This is Alex from Diego Dead.